All right, AJ Fury fanboys, prepare to get mad at me. But before we get into that, hit the thumbs up, hit the sub, hit the bell. You know what to do. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, excuse me if I pause a little bit because we are driving at the moment. So with that being said, again, finally, we can get into the video. I don't like this at all. Joe Joyce versus Usyk. Usyk has done enough to deserve his shot at AJ. I'm sorry, I know everybody wants undisputed, and if AJ is really the king of the division, if AJ is really as good as everybody says he is, then there's no issues. Usyk's not going to get in the way. He's going to get beat. AJ will beat him. And then they can have the Tyson Fury fight. But here's my problem. Usyk has been mandatory now for 2 fights straight. He should have fought AJ. He wasn't supposed to fight Chaz, Takam, none of them. He was supposed to fight AJ. Shit went through. He was supposed to fight Takam. Takam got injured. He fought Chaz Witherspoon. Next, he was supposed to fight AJ. Shit fell through. He ended up fighting Derek Chisora. With his videos, Derek, all those videos, yeah. So that fell through. Now here he is again, supposed to fight AJ, and now he's gonna fight Joe Joyce? Now, I like Joe Joyce, but Frank Warren, you're an idiot. And Usyk would be a moron to listen to this. Frank Warren's talking about this should be for the interim title. Usyk doesn't need the interim title. He doesn't need it. You know why? Because he's already mandatory for the belt. No matter what, he's fighting for that belt. Even if Joe Joyce fought Daniel Dubois in a rematch and got the interim title, got the interim title that turned into the real title, then they would still have to fight Usyk because Usyk's already in line to get a shot at that belt first. So to me, it doesn't do anything. What are you graduating them from mandatory to interim mandatory? Like, it don't fucking matter. If AJ vacates the belt, he doesn't need to be interim because he's already automatically in the vacating match. Like, the minute it's vacated, he's in that match for the title. The vacated title is up for grabs with him because he's already mandatory for it. So he would have to be there. He doesn't need to be interim. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like, being interim does nothing for him because he's already in a position of where he doesn't need to be there. AJ drops the belt, he gets to fight for the belt. If he becomes interim, he's still got to fight for interim, then AJ drops the belt, and then he just becomes the real champion. Either way, he's got to fight somebody to become the real champion. So it's pointless. It is absolutely pointless and stupid for him to do this. No, Usyk, you need to put your foot down. You need to tell Eddie Hearn you're not stepping to the side. If you don't get the fight, AJ gets stripped, you get that WBO, and you fight whomever you're going to fight for it. If it be Joe Joyce, so be it. But when you beat him, you won't be the interim. You'll be the real champion. And then, you know what? Tyson Fury and AJ can fight each other. And then the winner's got to come see you for the real undisputed. It's that simple. Either AJ sees you first or you disrupt undisputed because that's what you want to be. And then you make it for undisputed. That's it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I would not let AJ off the line because here's the thing. I question how good Usyk is at heavyweight. Here's a lot of questions around him that still haven't been answered for me. Because I didn't think he looked good against Chaz. And I thought Chisora's body shots were knocking him all over the ring. Yeah, he won the fight. Yeah, Chisora got a little dirty. But I'm still not convinced that Usyk could win the title. However, it looks like to me, it appears to me that Eddie Hearn does not want Anthony Joshua anywhere near Usyk because he's doing everything he can to keep AJ from fighting him. And every opportune moment, he's going to put up a roadblock to stop that fight. And it makes me ask myself why. It makes me question why. And the thing is, I don't care if I'm not like other fans who are like, oh, we got robbed of the AJ and the Wilder. We got robbed of it. Now we could get robbed of the Fury and the AJ. You're not getting robbed. That's not how it works in boxing. If the guy you want to see in Undisputed gets beat, then the guy who beat him is better than him and is better for Undisputed. I don't understand this this hype train built around names. No, you're as good as your last win. So if you lose in your next fight, you're not that good. I should say you're as good as your last fight, not win. So, again, if Usyk beats AJ, I would much rather see Usyk versus Fury than AJ versus Fury. Why? Because it proved that Usyk was better than AJ and he was more deserving of that shot. If AJ beats Usyk, then by all means, carry on with the AJ Fury. I have no issues with that. But I do have an issue with, here it is, Usyk being duck, dive, dodge, whatever the 5 Ds the dodgeball are. Duck, dive, dodge, dodge, duck, dive, dip, dodge. The 5 Ds the dodgeball. That's what they're doing to him. I don't want to see another Dillian Whyte situation. It pissed me off when Dillian Whyte didn't get his WBC shot. So why wouldn't I be pissed off whenever Usyk's not getting his shot? No, he deserves it. He was undisputed in cruiserweight. He's moved up to heavyweight. He beat Chaz in his intro to it, even though he wanted AJ. Even though after that, he wanted to Cam. Then he goes on to beat a top 10 fighter in Derek Chisora. He doesn't need to do anything else. He solidified himself that he deserves that shot at that title. Period. He deserves it. And you know what? I don't care if it fucks up Undisputed. People will still get the fight that they want. They'll still get AJ versus Fury. They'll still get it. But at the end of the day, if AJ drops a belt, goes back on what he said he was going to do, if he's a hypocrite, because he said he's getting them all, he's not letting them go. If he becomes a hypocrite, then I would much rather see Usyk fight the fighter for Undisputed than AJ, who dropped the belt to get out of Undisputed. I'm sorry. No. If he drops the belt, it's not for Undisputed. If Usyk gets that belt, you have to see Usyk. No different than Teofimo Lopez has to come see Devin Haney. Regardless how good I feel he is, regardless where I rate him, he's still the real champion. And if Usyk gets that belt because AJ drops it, well, guess what? He's the real champion because AJ dropped it, and it's not Undisputed. And by that being said, I want to see Usyk versus AJ. I want to see Eddie Hearn stopping this, trying to age Usyk out, trying to get him older and older till he won't be competitive, till he starts slowing down, till he doesn't look as good. I'm tired of seeing it. Usyk has earned his strikes. He deserves that title shot before AJ fights Fury. I know y'all aren't going to agree with me, but you know what? I would be a hypocrite if I didn't call it straight down the line how I saw it. If I thought Dillian Whyte should have fought Deontay Wilder because he waited so long, why wouldn't I feel the same about Usyk, even though I'm not even an Usyk fan? That's the thing that's so funny about this. I'm not even an Usyk fan, and I still believe Usyk deserves that shot. Usyk deserves to fight AJ before Tyson Fury. The only thing that they could be scared of is if they're scared Usyk's going to beat him, and instead of it being a 1 fight, it turns into a 2 fight. And then that delays the Tyson Fury fight for a year. That's the only thing it can be. Because if they thought they could beat Usyk, they wouldn't be trying to petition to get around him. Because that's what Eddie's trying to do. Usyk, if I was you, I would leave Eddie Hearn as soon as your contract's up. I would no longer be with the Zone Matchroom. I would leave them, and I would go to PBC just to spite Eddie. And then I would get Al Heyman on your side to push for it. And he'll get you to fight, or he'll get that belt taken. Period. So that's my 2 cents. That's how I see it. It irritates me because what is the point? What is the point of beating everybody to become a mandatory and then to be denied that chance to challenge the champion? What is the point? What is the point? There is no point then. There's no point in becoming the number 1 guy underneath the champion in whatever sanctioning body if you're not going to get that opportunity. If AJ wanted to fight Fury, then you know what? Maybe he shouldn't have lost to Andy Ruiz. You know what? Maybe he should have fought Usyk instead of Pulev. Maybe he should have did that first. But you know why he fought Pulev? Because Pulev was going to have him stripped. And you know what? Usyk, you need to stick to your guns and have his ass stripped if he doesn't fight you. Because again, I will restate what I've said multiple times now. If AJ does that, he's a hypocrite. Because AJ from day one has said he wanted all the belts. And if he's willing to let a belt go to fight Tyson Fury for a fake undisputed, then you know what? He is a hypocrite because he did not do what he said he was going to do. And that's how I look at it. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I expect hate. If people make it to the end, I expect thumbs downs because people can't see past their fanboy fangirlism. They just can't do it. They can't call it straight down the line because both these guys are polarizing. Both these guys are just incredible stars, household names. AJ, probably the biggest earner outside of Canelo in boxing, maybe the biggest earner, because I heard that they're talking about $100 million for him in the Fury fight. The biggest earner by far. But that doesn't take away from the fact of his obligations. And Tyson Fury, very good fighter. I also heard he'll make $100 million in this fight. And business-wise, it makes sense. Financially, it makes sense. But at the same time, I cannot be a hypocrite and support it because I don't. Because Usyk needs to just strip his ass and take the belt if he's not going to fight him. He's waited long enough. Get in the ring with him. If you're better than him, if you are the best, if you deserve undisputed, then beat the man and go get your match. That's all I got to say. Again, let me know what y'all think in the comments section.